still trying to streamline what I'm doing here. Oh, God. Do you know how much I try and make sure I'm prepared? I never am. Hello. Should we try and do the bit for YouTube? Which I pretend I'm actually going to edit later on, but I never get round to doing it. Okay. Electronate just emailed 2 songs via YouTube link. That's cool. I'll have to have a look at them for next week, darling. I have to vet them first. Carl Pierce, you sent me 2 tracks, but they disappeared. They weren't there when I went to look for them. So if you send me them again, we'll get them on for next week. Alexander said, as soon as I joined the stream, I hear an epic tune. Yeah, that is one that me and Guyver did years ago. It's called Gotta Believe. Where's my... Hang on a second. Oh, there it is. I'm going to blow my nose. Oh. Oh, that's better. Oh, my ears have popped now. Oh. Oh. Hang on. That's better. Hi. Okay, so let's get on with it, shall we? We've got loads to get through, to the point now that I have to extend these shows now because we're getting a lot of really good tunes through. So yeah, we're just gonna have to get through what we've got through, and if it takes forever, it takes forever. It's fine. Anyway, let me just do my YouTube bit. I need to record. No, I don't need to record it because I can take it off Twitch, can't I? Okay, ready? Don't make me laugh. Hi guys, this is Amber D and welcome to my demo drop. Get your music heard here on Twitch. Oh no, they're watching on YouTube. Can I say that? Okay, let's try it again. No, I've gone. No. Oh. Hi guys, this is Amber D and welcome to my demo drop. Recorded on Twitch, but now you can watch it on YouTube and watch it back at a later date. If you are interested in being part of the show, all you need to do is send your demo to amberdpromo@gmail.com and then it will be considered to play on the show. Now, without further ado, let's get on. Let's get on with our first tune. Now, the first thing I need to do very quickly before we get on with that is I just need to share. I don't know what's going on at the moment with the internet. Where's my phone? It's under my loo roll, of course. Well, I've just tried to share something. I'll do it while the track's on, just to speed things up. Okay, so the first one we've got is Benjamin, and this is called Can't Stop the Girl. I played it on my show, one of my shows last week. I really love this tune. I really do. And yeah, just in case this is your first time here, your tunes don't necessarily need to be finished. They just need to be playable to a point that, you know, we can listen to it. And if it's not, then don't worry. I'll always leave you to go away with some constructive feedback to help you with your music further. One really good example of this, actually, and he's someone who's playing, I've got one of his tunes on later on, is called Joyo Mofrobro. And for example, he sent me some music a few weeks ago, twice on 2 separate occasions, and I didn't think it was ready. Now he's gone back again and he's redubbed one of his old tunes that he'd made in the 90s and done it again, and I like it. And I feel like it's ready to be on the show. So that is a good example of, just because it may not get on the show first time, that's a good thing, because you want the first things people to hear of you to be something that's nearer to what your finished product's going to be, I feel. So there we go. So without further ado, we have Benjamin Can't Stop the Girl.
Trying to shoot down angels, they're trying to pull their wings off so they can't fly. And oh, but she's so brave though, just like a tornado, she's taking us by storm. You can't stop the girl from going, you can't stop the world from knowing the truth will set you free. Oh, you can't stop the girl from going, you can't stop the world from knowing the truth will set you free. Oh, you can't stop the girl.
mate. What you saying? Yes. Again, great production. Benjamin's been on the show before. He is indeed the guy who runs Rave Kids, who I play for. I love playing for Rave Kids. I really do. I find they're the best demographic for me. I'm very, very childish. So they love me. And I do love playing for the under 10s. They're great. They're really good. They find me hilarious as well. All I need to do, like, this is a great way to win over any kid, right? Just, oh, wow. Ooh, they're like, ooh. And then they get to my kids' age. I've got twin girls who are 10 now, and they've seen that trick a million times. They still can't do it though. But yeah, they find it boring. Other kids love me though. So yeah, everyone's got a lot of love for that track. Brilliant. It's all you need from a bounce tune. Great vocal, simple but exciting, interesting drums, great riff, melody. Yeah. It's going to do well, that one. I don't know where the vocal's from. It feels like it should be like a Disney thing. Is it from... Hang on a second. Is this from Moana or something? Because I think I recognise it. Come to think of it. Maleficent. Maleficent. Is that where it's from? Cool. Yeah, I was going to say, if it wasn't a Disney thing, it bloody well should be. I like it. I think it works really well. Maleficent. Yeah, I know what you mean, DJ Leather. Thank you. Right, the next tune we've got, this is Joyo Mofo Bro. Now, for a bit of context, this is the guy that he had some interesting ideas, but I didn't think he was quite there in terms of featuring him on the show yet. But he went away, and this tune, try and think of it as like, it's called tripping as well. So try and think of this as the kind of tunes that you'd probably hear when you were tripping, if that's what you do, you know. But it's just a state of mind. It doesn't need to include drugs in this at all. But just in case you were tripping, I think this kind of is a bit like that. If I was, which I'm not. This is just me. I'm quite mental. But yeah, I was going to play it and shut up. Here we go. So there you go, guys. What do you think of that curveball? See, for me, I like it because I love the sounds in it. I think it needed... if I was going to... I had to do this from a DJ perspective because I can't play... I can't enjoy stuff that I wouldn't be able to... I know I can. I can enjoy stuff that I wouldn't mix, but it would probably be in terms of being like an album... if this piece was on an album and it was like a piece in between two other more arranged pieces, you know, it would kind of make sense. You know, it's like a palette cleanser, that kind of thing. It is a curveball one. However, it has to be understood that, and as a music producer, I understand and can completely respect the sound quality and the sound design behind those ideas. And again, it goes to the old notion of, you know, one person's idea of a good tune is not someone else's, but you can't mistake certain aspects as a producer. So I can listen to that and really appreciate it, even though I wouldn't be able to play it in a tune, in a set, sorry. Yeah, I still like it as well. Yeah, if it had a rap on it, it would be cool. Exactly. Yeah, maybe this could have a place in being what do they call it? When people produce not bars, but that people produce... Oh, God, my bloody brain. Oh, what's it called? They produce these specifically for people to rap over. Yeah, beats. Of course, beats. They produce beats. And also, when I listened to it earlier, I skipped through it. So when you listen to it, once you skip through it, the kick, which weirdly on here is on the half beat. But if you imagine it being the kick being on the downbeat, it has a completely different groove to it. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you play it from the beginning, it's on the half beat, and it doesn't feel right to me. I think that's my only criticism of this piece, is if you moved, because it's the heaviest instrument in there, the kick is on the offbeat, and that's what's pulling me out of the groove somewhat. So, but if that was intentional, I fucking respect it. End of. So there we go. That was Joe Mofo Bro, because it is tripping, isn't it? Like, it is what it was saying, and I have to respect that. So well done, mate. Well done. Next we've got DJ Shiv and Heads Up. This is Soul of an Angel, not Soul of an Angle. Soul of an Angel. Here we go.
you take, you touch my soul. With every breath you will succeed. A soul of an angel, touch from above. It's full and shining, surrounded by love, surrounded by love.
Yeah, nice work as usual from Heads Up and now DJ Shiv as well. I think the two of you work really, really well together. This is a great tune. Couple of people saying about the breakbeat. I like breakbeats in breakdown, so I think that's probably a subjective thing. I love it. I'm going to be playing it. It's for being a bounce tune. It's everything that you need in a bounce tune again. So, and yeah, I think it's perfect. Heads Up, as you all will know, I play Heads Up stuff all the time, day in, day out. I've just commissioned him to do a Rush on Me remix as well. Just because I love his work. Everything he touches is beautiful. It's brilliant. So, yeah. Really loved that one. Next, we've got another DJ Shiv tune. This is an interesting tune. This is DJ Shiv and Bon Lee, Stairway to Heaven. In the words of General Bounce, he said it's a very brave tune. And it is, and you'll see what we mean by that in just a second. Here we go.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stars are all closed, with a word she can get what she came. And she's buying a stairway.
Yes, mate. First of all, wow. Thank you, Mr. Seaweed, for the very generous raid there. Did you have a good stream? Thank you very much for choosing me. Yeah, this is the demo drop, guys. If you've not been here before, I'll quickly explain what we're doing. So, during lockdown, I've always tried to, from the mental health aspect of things, be as helpful as I can for people, because I know from going through my mental health stuff how important it is to be creative. So along with mental health chats, I've also set up this demo drop. And basically it's a way for people who want to make music, to help you to get your music heard and to make you part of this community more than anything. I know that Seaweed's had a similar idea to do it as well. Really, really hope that Seaweed does it as well, because more people there are who are inclusive of people on their journey of making music, the better. You know, it's really important. And a lot of these people who I have come across now from doing these demo drops, they didn't realise that they were good. You know, to a point that they hadn't ever sent any of their music out to record labels. And this is this is a safe space for you to send your music in. We'll have a listen to it. If I do deem it not ready for people to listen to, I will tell you why, and I will give you some really good advice in the email. So yeah, if you want to send anything over at all, any genres, then all you need to do is send it to amberdpromo@gmail.com. I could have chosen a bit of a better colour for that because you can't really see it very well down there. What am I doing now? Moving everything around. Oh, but yeah, that's where you need to send it. Make sure you head your email with the word demo drop. Any files that you send, please make sure you send them with the labelled with the artist name and the title of the tune. Or of course, you can just send me a SoundCloud link. And yeah, let's get your music heard. Be brave. And yeah, it's been really, really successful so far. I think we're on our 8th show, something like that. But I'm going to be continuing these on, and I really hope that Seaweed does something similar as well. Yeah, see, Seaweed just said there, if people are open for the idea, I'm going to do it. I always look to discover these new awesome amateur tunes, so why not make a stream out of it? Exactly. And it helps us as DJs as well, because if we can tell people from the DJ perspective what we need in a track, then they're going to be more inclined to finish it or more enthusiastic about doing it, because once you hear someone playing your music, it's a great feeling. It really is a great feeling. So and that's what us DJs are here for, you know. So use us to help you with your productions, and you know, we've built a community around this now. So yeah, I really hope that Seaweed does do that as well. And yeah, this is probably the best way, you know, discovering what we used to do in the day. Seaweed will probably remember this as well. We used to be able to go to record shops, and there'd only be like 20 sometimes of a certain promo white label that would have been pressed, and if you were lucky, you were one of the only people in the whole country to have that particular record, you and 20 other people. So this is kind of a way of crate digging now, but what we're doing instead of crate digging is we're digging for your demos. So there you go, and that is the demo drop. So without further ado, we'll get on to the next tune. Oh, before that, we need to discuss Stairway to Heaven, because we forgot to do that bit nearly, didn't we, Amber? Yes, we did. Okay, so Stairway to Heaven, it was originally done by Bruce Springsteen? Or am I getting it mixed up with Knocking on Heaven's Door or something? It was a great feeling getting a white label, wasn't it? Exactly. We can't do that anymore. But Eric Clapton, Led Zeppelin, Sabbath. What? Who is it? None of us know. Oh my God. Is it Led Zeppelin? Are you sure? Rick Astley. It wants to be. Led Zeppelin. All right. So it's Led Zeppelin. I didn't know that. I thought it was I would have thought it was Eric Clapton, to be fair, but there you go. One of his best guitar. I thought it was even probably someone from Pink Floyd or something. So yeah, so using that is quite a brave thing to do, and it does work. It really does work. It's one of those pieces that I will definitely be playing and have played in my shows. So yeah, I think it paid off in this instance. DJ Shiv, well done for being brave and doing something a bit different. Loved it. So yeah, good work. So the next one we've got, this is, oh, what am I doing there? Okay, so this is called Electro Rush, and it's by The Overseer. I think this is a new person. So here we go with the next tune. May. I think that was Gary Amore. I think he's in the chat. He said, I've just clicked on his emails because I'm just checking that I can send this over to Seaweed. I'm sure he won't mind, mate. But yeah, I've just double checked just to make sure. But he's called Gary Amore. It's a great tune, isn't it? I think it'd be there we are. Gaz Overseer. Yeah, I don't mind you sending it. That's absolutely fine. There you go. Shout you out, mate. That is a really good effort. And yeah, it's definitely Seaweed's style. Without a doubt. Really, really good effort, mate. Top job. Well done. Things to improve on, not much. I think your leads and the riff, the synths you used, and it sounded really full. It sounded very textured. You could still hear the kick. Everything was balanced, as someone said earlier. It was well balanced still. Arrangement was great. Yeah. I think this is a done piece and you should move on and do your next tune now. But yeah, I think that's amazing. Seaweed, just remind me after the show to send you. In fact, I will send it to you while the next tune's playing. Because I know what I'm like. And I'm also just going to put in your SoundCloud, Gaz, so people can find out more about you on your SoundCloud as well. The Overseer, great name as well. So yeah, let's move on with our next tune, and the next one is by Lukey G, and it's called All This Love.
Space without us seeing. Now I see it. On the bed and I close my eyes. Think about those perfect nights in Phoenix. Still feel it. But there's no relief. It's weighing on me. It's taking its toll. There's no letting go. And if we do, damned if we do. Sometimes I wonder if we do it all along. So what are we gonna do with all this love? Yeah.
that's just next level, isn't it, really? Like, having a great vocal really helps, but, and I mention this quite often on the show, it shouldn't be a reason to not put any effort into the rest of the track. And sometimes you can get away with that because the vocal carries the track. But in this instance, that chord progression... the elements in that and the arrangement, and this is the great thing about putting in that bit of extra effort and understanding syncopation, understanding arrangement, understanding where silence works, and understanding the importance of giving the listener what they are expecting, but then surprising them musically within that, because that is where you get the dopamine release. And that's when you'll see me, for example, react. That reaction is a dopamine release. It's from the reward system in the brain. And you won't get that if you're being taken out of the groove of the one of the 4/4. Hello, Man Child Show. Yay! Welcome to our demo drop. However, it's a really interesting thing with humans and the way that we expect music to sound, especially Western music. But we all agree that we love the 4/4. I mean, years ago there was 3/4, the waltz. That was kind of a thing. But even 3/4 will still go to 4. Or it will still make sense to us on an integral, very deep level of what we're used to hearing when we listen to music. But going back to the arrangement in something as simple as, you know, bounce music, it's very effective. Like, hearing me scroll through these separate pieces now, I mean, this is why we love it. We've got the sense of the tension and release. We've got the breakdowns. This is why breakdowns are important. They're almost as if it gives the ear a rest. And there's not many pieces of music which will have the same sounding all the way through it. The only notable one that does, from my memory, is I think it's Café Del Mar. But even with that, the sound will shift and change throughout it. But yeah, basically, without me going on too much, that's basically what we're looking for, or what you're looking for as a producer, is ways to surprise the listener musically, to give them that dopamine release, to give them that reward for listening. Good music will reward you for listening to it. And that can be quite difficult when you're dealing with or working within a structure of a genre such as dance music, because you have to adhere to certain rules, in inverted commas. But when you know the rules, you can break the rules. A good example is when a few years ago, producers stopped putting the cymbal crash on the downbeat. I'll give you an example for anyone that doesn't know what a cymbal crash is. If I go right to the beginning of this tune, that denotes the first beat of the first bar. Usually in dance music, you'll hear that every 16 bars, sometimes every 8 bars, sometimes every 32 bars. But what it means is something new is happening. This is a new section. Now, what happened a few years ago in many genres of music, they stopped putting the cymbal crash on the first beat of the bar. and they started putting it on the second. And it would throw off a lot of DJs. We didn't really understand it when people first did it. It happens a lot now. But what it does do is it surprises you. It surprises you in a way that you weren't expecting it. But it still stays in 4/4. It's just that the cymbal crash that you're so used to hearing on the first beat of the bar, instead of being on the first, it'll be on the second. And it's just little things like that will keep people interested in your music. So there you go. Electronate says, my builds are lacking in my tracks. Just do more tunes, make more music. That's all you need to do. James Black says, I've heard a lot of producers do the same with the kick drum. Yeah, exactly. But there's a line to that. You know, there's a certain amount of surprise you can give someone, but don't go outside the realms of like what we're used to. Because going back to tribal instincts of 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 to the floor, these are the things that we're used to, and that's on a very deep level. So yeah, well done. That was the best arranged track by a mile. Yes, it was. Great ideas and well implemented. So I hope that all made sense. DJ Smarties, you can send any genre, all right? Anything you want, babes. Next tune. We've got Kenny Magnum, and this is called Caught Up, and it is the Sonny Fodera remix. Here we go. So yeah, guys, that was Kenny Magnum. Caught Up Sonny Fodera remix. I really like it. I love the drums. I thought the drums were really well done. I like the fact that there was a bit of question and answer going on there. Sometimes what my problem is when it comes to drums and even melody lines, top lines, I put in too much. And I think this is because I work in a bar at a time, so I loop quite a lot when I'm producing. And the problem with doing that is you don't put in subtle, like at the end of 8 bars, or like in this case, there was a bit that was doing that with the toms. You know, that again, it pleases the ear. But if I was doing it, I'd be like, I love that noise that much, I'm just going to put it all the way through. And that's not the point. The point is sometimes having less. And I love the fact that you're able to do this on this track here, Kenny or Sonny, whoever has put those toms in, or that percussion in this particular track. I really do listen for drums. Drums are like my thing. I like spending a lot of time on the sound design and shaping my drums. Less is more, definitely. I think for me, getting out of the 1 bar loop or the 4 bar loop is important for me to be able to do that kind of thing without, overloading my music. So yeah, it's something that I noted there, which I really liked. I didn't like the bass, if I'm honest. I found it too rumbly, but I know someone in the chat said they did like it. So we'll just have a listen to the bass again. It's textured, but it sounds rough. It might just, I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's just one bass on its own, or it could just be, see, James likes the bass. Well, then it must just be a personal preference then. It must be. So, and that's good. That's good that is the case. And that's what this is about, getting the feedback in that way. It's a little busy. Maybe I like the groove to it. It's literally just the sound. I love the groove to it. I'm classically trained, so I have to come out of my own thought process a bit. If you've been classically trained, if you know music theory, sometimes it can get in your way with certain genres, because certain genres it is better to have detuned instruments or detuned riffs. We've even got a detune on the synths, to spread the sound, to make it sound more textured. And for me, I found it really difficult to get out of my training and just listen to it in terms of, does it sound good? Not, that's not in a harmonic fifth, and it did mess me up for a while, to be quite honest. Kenny's in the room. I use Sting 64 plugin for the bass. I've not heard of that. Did you put any saturation on it or any compression? It just feels a little bit, it sounds a little bit rough, if that makes any sense. Or maybe layer it with a nice sine wave sub. But again, remembering that a few people in the chat have said that they like it, so it's probably a very subjective thing on my part. Yeah, a bit of saturation, cool. Yeah, it must just be a personal thing, but I love it. I think as someone said, the vocal is very soulful. It feels like you're on a beach somewhere in Ibiza. And yeah, it's great. Well done, and thank you for submitting it. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. It's more for Tech House, that plugin. Oh, okay, cool. Right then. I didn't know they did specific plugins for specific genres. I'll try the bass line, see how it goes. You don't need to. You really don't. If you like it, then that's all that matters. You know, I'm just saying my personal preference is I'm not used to hearing that sound. If that's a Tech House thing, leave it in. Absolutely leave it in. And there's more people saying that they liked it than not liked it. So I think you should leave it in. Next, we've got Stefano Ricci, and this is called The Past, the Present, the Future. Here we go. Yeah, I really like that one. That was Stefano Ricky, the past, present, and future. A lot of love for that in the chat as well. I don't know if anyone else thought this as well, but it sounded like the first bit of the track sounded completely different to the middle and the end. Sounded like two separate tunes. Hi Techie Steph, you're welcome. However, because the name of the track being the past, the present and the future, it kind of makes sense that would be the case. And yeah, I loved that breakdown. From the breakdown, it had my absolute attention. And after the breakdown, I think it needed another element. I think a couple of other people said, but it's not necessary. It's a journey track, exactly. I love the chord progression, really nice, lovely layers, really well mixed down. Yeah, I would have just liked to have seen a few more elements in the intro, mainly, or before the breakdown. A couple of elements from later on in the track mirrored in the beginning, if that makes sense. Electronate says I'm guilty of songs that sound like two different songs. Make them two different songs then. You got 2 for 1 then, haven't you? However, I know this has already been signed and it is due for release, so it's done. However, it's still good to have this kind of feedback, even if you have finished a track, especially if you've finished a track, because you can either confirm things that you may have thought yourself or take these comments on for the next tune that you do. But I just loved that breakdown. I loved the chord progression, as I said. It moved me, and that's what it's about. At the end of the day, I will remember that tune. So thank you very much, Stefano. Big round of applause. Yes, mate. Right. We've got loads to get through. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to get through. Okay, next we've got Brad Refresh. Hope I've said that correctly. And this is Lifting Me Higher. Yes, mate. Absolutely love that one. That was Brad Refresh, Lifting Me Higher. Yeah, if you haven't been here before, Prodzilla, great name. Great name. Yeah, all you need to do is send your demo to amberdpromo@gmail.com and head your email demo drop and label any files you're sending with artist and title. Or, of course, you can always leave me a SoundCloud link, something like that. And I'll have a listen to it, and it will hopefully feature on next week's show. Yeah, I did like that one. That was really, really good, Brad. Really, really enjoyed that. Gonna have to change the font of the email to neon pink. What, you mean this down here? Can't see it very well, can you? I'm gonna change it now. It's because I keep changing my background. Here we go. It's gonna have to be white, I think. White, and then let's outline it. Outline it with black. Black like my soul. There we go. All done. That's loads better now, isn't it? Yeah, Brad, I loved that. I thought it was a really strong track. Kieran says, I don't think I've heard a track I don't like from Brad Refresh. There you go. Hello, Kid Dynamo. Hello, mate. Hello. Yeah, I loved it. I'm going to be playing it. It was really uplifting. I loved the uplifting vocal in it. There wasn't anything that stuck out to me as not being finished about that at all. I just think you're flexing, really, Brad. Thank you, Prodzilla. Yeah, it won't be able to get reviewed today, unfortunately, because I've got loads, and I mean loads of emails through, but it will hopefully be on next week. If it doesn't get on, if it's not ready yet, I'll let you know why. But yeah, if you can be here next week, I'm sure it'll be on then. I'll email you back if you sent me an email anyway. So thank you for wanting to be part of the show. Really appreciate it. Kid Dynamo says, have I missed it? No, you haven't. I've not played anything from you yet. Which one was the one that you were wanting me to play, Kid Dynamo? Because I got a few from you last week. If you let me know in the chat. Next we have got Cry, and this is by Tony Perkins. Here we go. Yes, mate. Really good, strong tune there. Only thing that I would change on it is on the vocal, there's a bit where she goes down an octave, so it's cry, and that bottom one, I don't like it. So listen to it. That one. It sounds out, and it sounds like when she sang it, it's ever so slightly out of key. It just annoys me. I would just splice that bit out. I would take that bit out, and add a bit of a delay to carry it through to the next section of the track. And also when you've got some of the effects on it, it makes it stand out more. A lot of the time when you're working with vocals, unless you've done some manual volume automation beforehand, some parts can stick out when you then go back into putting compression on. So a really good rule, even with someone like a vocal by someone as good as, I want to say Anne Robinson, but it's not, Annie Lennox. You still should always take the vocal, put it in something like just Audacity will do, or you can use an audio editor like Edison if you use FL Studio, and just start to bring down the peaks or increase peaks which aren't as loud. And the reason for doing that is if you can get it as straight as possible over all of the peaks, because when you naturally sing, you'll naturally say certain words and certain transients will be louder than others. It's not Anne Robinson, is it? I know. Because when you come then to treat that vocal, when you start putting compression on, compression will bring up these already loud bits even louder. So that is just sticking out too much. Because when she would have sung it originally, you wouldn't have probably heard it as much. So I would just take that out. Kieran says, don't let the vocal become the weakest link by overpowering the loudest parts. Is that because of my Anne Robinson thing? But yeah, it's still kind of true what you're saying. They don't let the vocal become the weakest link by overpowering the loudest parts. Kind of is what I'm saying there. What I'm saying is the parts that were probably even more mixed into the original are going to be coming out more because you've compressed it. So that part that she sang in the original, it wouldn't have been so noticeable because it would have been more of an ad-lib. It would have been more set back. And with using a lot of compression, sometimes that can make those louder parts that you don't really want loud too loud. So I would just take that out, that little bit. That's all I'm saying. It just niggled me, but the rest of it is amazing, and I think it's really, really, really good. It's going to do well, and it's a great use of that vocal. I've actually used that vocal myself on a track called "I Got a Feeling," which I used it. Oh, I got a feeling, that bit. So yeah, I've never heard anyone use the cry part of it before. So well done. I'm really, really impressed, Tony. Please keep carrying on. I think you're just amazing. So well done. So next we've got Bass 22, and this is Machines Take Control. Here we go. Where are we? Going on, my computer's having a spaz. I'm not going to keep pressing things. There we go. Brilliant.
Release yourself.
Yes, mate. Love it. Really good example of keeping the energy up with your with the separate areas of this track. So we just go back and explain to everyone. So we get started. The track starts. Bass comes in. Dum, 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 dum. Next section.
Release yourself.
Ba, 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 ba. So this next section, you've got a synth lead melodic part, which is following the pattern of the bass, which is always a winner. Next section, after the main breakdown, you've added another element, which is the woo. So by doing that in your arrangement, you keep the listener's interest, and that's how you make a good tune, people. And then near the end of it, yeah, that's how you make a good tune. You know, you just add in more as you're going along to keep the interest of the ear, of the listener, of the music. Well done. So yeah, I think I know you've not been producing for very long either, and you're just doing amazing. You know, you really are. You're putting yourself out there. You're doing it. You're finishing stuff. It's amazing to someone like me, because I take so long to finish stuff. I'm so unconfident when it comes to my own stuff. I am going to start sharing more of my work with you guys. It's probably only fair that I do. But yeah, it's a very vulnerable thing for me to do, because I can DJ really well, because I do it all the time. I'm not so good with production. It's taken me a long time to get where I am. I don't find it very natural to do it, but you know, it's perseverance at the end of the day, and you guys massively inspire me with your music. When I see what you're all doing, it really, really helps me, and I know that means that it helps you all as producers as well, because we're all in the same boat at the end of the day. So Kieran B says those tracks are hard to produce. Dave Jackson makes it sound easy, but it's not, is it? It's just, there's so many ways of doing it, you know, and we can get so caught up and confused, especially when we go on YouTube tutorials and stuff. And I think the main thing, it's very responsible for anyone who's teaching you to always say or start a tutorial with saying, this is just how I do it. And not enough people who put out tutorials out there say that. So a lot of the time you can be left with thinking this is the best way to do my kick and my bass. This is the only way to do my kick and bass. It isn't, it's just a way of doing it. So Electronate says your production is just as sick as the sets, believe me. Thank you. I appreciate that, mate. I really do. It's difficult for me because I used to have people engineering my music for a long time. So I've had to get my music up to a quality standard that matches theirs. That's why it's taken me so long to put out my own stuff. But I'm glad that I've persevered with it, because it's all coming together now. And I hope that is the same for you guys. So Wolf says, I would love to produce. Mate, honestly, do it. Ableton, you can download Ableton Live. I think you get 3 months to use Ableton Live for free, which is amazing. Also with Image Line, which is FL Studio, which is the main DAW that I use. I use Ableton and FL Studio and a bit of Logic because I'm learning it at university. But with if you go to imageline.com, you can download FL Studio completely free. You just can't save. You can use everything, but you just can't save anything until you buy a license. So there. quite frankly, darling. So well done, Base 22. Barney. Give yourself a round of applause, mate. Yeah! Okay, next we've got Nikki Adams, and this is the Beyond. Here we go. Oh yeah, also before we get started, I'll have to give you a bit of context here. Nikki says, I'm struggling with this one. It feels like there's something missing or not quite right. Help needed. So if you guys can listen out to what you think is possibly missing or not quite right. Thank you. you go, guys. That's Nikki Adams, The Beyond. So, Nikki's question was, or comment was, it just feels like there's something missing or not quite right. A few of you have put your ideas in the chat. My idea for this would be, if you're feeling that it's needing something, it could be you need what's called a top liner. This is something that I've recently found out about. Now, a top liner is someone who writes and sings the top line for your track. So you can hire someone, you can get someone to, instead of just trying to find a vocal, you can hire someone to specifically put a top line to your tune. So, hang on a second, I've just got to deal with this. 1 second. Block. Bye, George. Where was I? Have I done it right? I'm just going to make sure I've banned this person. Have I banned them? And let me just unblock him, and then I've got to ban. How do I do it? Where's my mods? Ah, here we are. Timeout or ban. Okay, he's been banned by Tony T. Thank you. Couldn't work out how to do it then. It's just boring, isn't it? Like, if I was drunk, I would have had some fun with that, but I can't be bothered right now. We're doing something productive right now. Okay, right. So, Nikki, yeah, the top line, you can get someone to write a top line for your track. And I think that could be the thing that you feel is missing from this tune. So I would do that. I would see if you can get someone, or I know a lot of singers who would probably want to work with this track with you, you know, who would be able to put something really good on top of this. So yeah, Nikki's in the chat there. Have written down everything people have mentioned and we'll revisit and try different things out. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all you need to do, my darling. See, James, yeah, that's good advice there as well. And Kieran, yeah, you're right. The more you try and add, sometimes it just makes it worse. Do you know what? Sometimes what you need is a bit of a break from your own stuff. So, for example, recently I've released a deep house track that I made I finished it over a year ago, and I left it in one of my folders and I forgot about it. And over a year later, I went back and looked through all my work in progress folders and just listened to them all more objectively, not in a listening for certain things, which you do as a producer. And it was finished. It was finished and I've released it now on my record label, Demore Recordings. But at the time I didn't like it. I hated it. But by having a bit of time away from it, you might need to have like a year away from your track. But by coming away from it, because we get very emotionally invested in our music as producers. So by having some time away from it, you can definitely be more objective with it and listen to it in a different kind of a way. So there you are. Exactly like Nikita said there, it's good that you can take the critique. It's the way that you say it. I found and the reason why I can say it in the way that I do is because of experience with it. possibly with the mental health aspect of things as well. There's always some people just naturally good at being able to word things and articulate them in a way that's not offensive and not the worst thing is when someone starts a sentence with "I'm not being funny," but like, fuck off, you are going to be funny. You can't say that and then say whatever it is you want to say just because I'm not being funny, but fuck off. I hate it when people do that. It's so passive aggressive, isn't it? Wankers. Track 4 depends on your meaning of live. Yeah. Is any of this live? Who are we anyway? Etc. Okay, last track we've got, and it is a friend of mine who's in the track. This is James Black, and it is a remix he's done of The Who. And it's called Won't Get Fooled Again. This is just obscenely good, this. And I think he uses Bitwig. Are you still on Bitwig? James Black, if you let me know in the chat. Here we go. Oh, I thought you used Bitwig. You obviously don't. What DAW do you use, James? You should be so proud of yourself right now. Round of applause. Yeah, before I forget, my question, I don't have anything to add in terms of what I would do to improve on that. I just have questions on how your Lush string pads, what have you used for those? I would love to know what you've used for those strings. Oh, okay, Spire. So Spire, did you use Spire for all of the parts in there? For the plucks? For all the melodic stuff? Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you. And also the other thing I want to know is how you're doing your side chaining. Are you using the Nicky Romero thing or as a plug-in, that kind of thing, or are you side chaining your strings to your kick, for example, like the old school way? How are you doing that? Logic plugin, which works off the kick. Yep, cool, brilliant. Yeah, that's all I wanted to know. Yeah, I found doing it the old school way in Ableton a much more refined way, especially with vocals as well, by using a compressor to trigger the delay and the reverb, so that you get the initial transients of a vocal coming through, and then you get the delays and stuff afterwards, instead of mixing down a wet and a dry. Instead, I found that really just bringing things to the next level in terms of music production quality. Yeah, playing with the ratio and the threshold for the sweet spot. Compression has always been a very mystical thing for me before I started at uni, and I completely understand it now. Well, I understand it a lot more, should I say. I never completely understand compression because it's all very dependent on what it is you're compressing. So Lifty says, will I find this song for YouTube, on YouTube? Probably not, I don't think. But I think James Black is going to be putting this down for free download, and I think you should, mate. Yes, I agree, James Black. You don't really need many of the fancy plugins for that pump. You can get good results with the standard plugins. Yep, cool. And it's going to go on your SoundCloud next week. Great. Can you put your SoundCloud in the chat for people? I'm just going to see if I can find it quicker than you can type it. Can never find anything on SoundCloud. Can you put in your... There we go. There you go, everyone. So if you make sure that you're following James Black's SoundCloud, you'll get yourself a copy of that amazing piece of music. So yeah, I loved it. So yeah, thank you once again, everyone, for being part of this. It's been amazing, as usual. I'm going to send you off somewhere now. I'm just going to see who we're going to be sending you off to. Just seeing who's on. I hope you've enjoyed this, by the way. Oh, Hartshorn's on. I have to send you over to Hartshorn, just because he is amazing. He's also been on the demo drop as well. So yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there for this week. Please send in your demos to amberdpromo@gmail.com. Get involved. You know, it's going to be, it's a good thing. You know, it's a hard thing to do, but it's a good thing to do to get your music out there and your music heard. So, Lewis, bless you. I'm so happy that I've been able to help you, mate. And please make sure you're in my Discord, because we have a really good mental health section in there. I'm just writing it in the chat now. Make sure that you sign up for that. And, you know, I'm in my Discord multiple times in the day. Get in the mental health section there and write whatever you need to, and I will always reply. So, yay! Electronate, you're very welcome, my darling. Thank you, Nathan. And I will see you all on the other side. I'm now going to send you off to a wonderful person, Hartshorn. You're going to love this. Have fun. I'm going to be watching for a bit with you as well. Thank you, Johnny. Cheers, guys. I'm glad that you're all feeling inspired now. Love you. Mwah. See you later.